Chapter 81, Rage, Please Heal Tang Hao #039, S Old Injury. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Turns out Tang Hao's biggest weakness is Ain, his blue-silver emperor, a plant brought back to life. Don't worry, I'll take you to see her first. Chu Zhao raised 3 fingers under Tang Hao's surprised gaze, then lowered one at a time. Her smile widened as Tang Hao's vision blurred. He crashed to the ground, out cold. You just drugged him like that. Douluo finally dared to breathe, astonished at the sight of Tang Hao. He hadn't expected Chu Zhao to have something that could knock out a title Douluo. Of course. Do you have any idea how much knockout juice I used? That stuff would cost someone hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. I'm heartbroken. Chu Zhao walked towards Tang Hao, still wielding her death scythe. She was planning to slice his throat and be done with it, but as she approached, Douluo called out anxiously. Someone's coming, with the aura of a titled Douluo. The next moment, Chu Zhao heard a surprised voice. Zhao, what are you doing? That it was Tang San. Behind him were the Shrek crew, plus Ning Fengji and Jian Dao Qinexian. Almost had him. Chu Zhao reluctantly gave up. She knew Tang Hao, as Tang San's father, had some heavy hitters backing him up, so killing him wouldn't be easy. Someone always showed up to spoil the party. Your father just passed out, and I was going to check on him. Chu Zhao calmly answered Tang San's question while still holding Tang Hao. Tang San knew medicine, and she'd used Datura pollen in front of him before. To avoid getting caught, Chu Zhao quickly used the Chongqing Gong to flush the pollen from Tang Hao's system. Could Dad's old injury have flared up? Tang San didn't suspect her. He rushed forward, grabbed Tang Hao's other hand, and checked his pulse. Sure enough, the old injury had resurfaced. Dad, what happened? Why is it acting up again? Chu Zhao was silent, her expression turning ugly. Tang San pressed her. Zhao, when did you get here? Did you see anything? Chu Zhao reined in her emotions and spoke. Tang San, call me Chu Zhao from now on. Your father's old injury flared up because he went berserk and tried to kill me. He went too hard, and it affected the old injury. I don't know why he wants to kill me. All I know is that we can never get along. Before I lose it completely, you all need to get out of my sight. Chu Zhao's last sentence was squeezed out from between her teeth. Douluo glanced at her, worried. He didn't know what had happened, but Chu Zhao's mood had tanked, and she was barely holding back her anger. Zhao. Tang San called out, his voice trembling, but he caught himself when he met her cold stare. I'm sorry, Chu Zhao. With help from Shrek, he heaved Tang Hao up and prepared to leave. You should go too. Chu Zhao spoke coldly to Xiao Wu, who hesitated to leave and tried to help her up. Maybe she was taking it out on them, but she was in a foul mood. Once Shrek Academy and Ning Fengji were gone, Douluo asked Chu Zhao worriedly. Zhao, what's wrong? Is something the matter? I'm fine. Chu Zhao seemed to have recovered. She stood up and walked to the charred body. Shen Yan's corpse was barely recognizable after the purple-gold lightning. The Grim Reaper's scythe cut into the remains, which shattered into charcoal dust, revealing a bright, colorful light. The soul bones were incredibly tough. Even with the body reduced to charcoal, they remained intact, glowing brightly, and there was nothing attached to the soul bone. It was as dazzling as ever. A soul bone? I didn't expect him to have one. Douluo was surprised. Soul bones were rare, highly coveted even by titled Douluo. It's a gem-type soul bone, kind of compatible with your spirit. If you want it, take it. If not, I'll give it to you, you can do whatever. Chu Zhao shoved the soul bone into Douluo's hand. Her expression was normal, but she was still visibly upset. Back at the hotel, she locked herself in her room, and her anger finally exploded. System. Farming and health system. What gives? Do you think I'm some pushover? A saint? Stop playing dead, come out. The room was dark, almost pitch black. Anyone who came in would feel a bone-chilling cold. It was no wonder Chu Zhao was livid. The farming and health system was pushing it. Just as Tang San mentioned Tang Hao's old injury, the system's voice had rung in Chu Zhao's ears again. Temporary mission. A doctor with a kind heart, please heal Tang San's father Tang Hao's old injury within 1 month. Reward for completing the mission. A magical pill that can bring the dead back to life. Mission failure penalty. Longevity power weakened by 50%. And the added function invalidated. Time limit is 1 month. Chu Zhao's face darkened. She could barely restrain herself from slicing Tang Hao then and there. Of all the tasks the system had given her, this was the most unacceptable. She wasn't about to rush to save the guy who tried to kill her. Tang Hao had only survived by dumb luck. The farming and health system finally responded, but its mechanical voice remained emotionless. According to the system evaluation, Tang Hao, as the father of the chosen one, is very lucky. After you help him, he and his son will be grateful and become your most loyal allies. With their help, you will get twice the results with half the effort. The system made it sound like it was doing her a favor. Chapter 82, First Rejection of System Task. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chosen one, huh? Help system, you say? Twice the results with half the effort. Gimme a break. Chu Zhao scoffed and shut down the farming and health system. Anyone who wants this garbage assignment can have it. Not me. That she didn't give a damn about any magic pills or penalties. She only needed the Death God development system. Clicking on it, she finally felt her anger start to fade. This system was more like it. It should have given her a shout-out when she offed Shunyan. Congratulations, host, for killing a soul saint across multiple levels and achieving the 100-man slayer milestone. Reward, 2 one-time invulnerability shields, capable of blocking the strongest attack from a titled Douluo. But because she was in a tight spot with Tang Hao breathing down her neck, the system played it cool and went silent, opting to remind her to check the panel later. One-time use shields, but hey, it's something. Chu Zhao knew she'd failed to finish off Tang Hao, and he'd be back for her. She wasn't afraid of a straight-up fight. If she couldn't win, she could bolt. What worried her was him pulling a sneak attack. That, she'd have a hard time defending against. These shields were just what the doctor ordered. Over at Shrek Academy, Tang Hao finally stirred awake as Tang San was sighing for what felt like the millionth time. I'm not dead yet, why all the sighing? Tang Hao had been half aware for a while and had heard Tang San's constant sighs. He was not thrilled. The moment he woke up, he had to call him out. Dad, you're awake. Tang San's voice lacked its usual enthusiasm. Something felt off. I'm at Shrek Academy. How did I get here? Tang Hao asked, frowning. The last thing he remembered was that girl's smug grin before he blacked out. Thinking about it, his face soured. He was a titled Douluo, for crying out loud, and he'd been outsmarted and drugged by a kid. Humiliating. Zhao Zhao asked me to bring you back. Tang San mumbled, looking down. Why are you still calling her that, like your old friends? Did she save your life or something? Why are you so quick to defend her? Do you even realize I almost died because of her? Tang Hao blew a gasket hearing Chu Zhao's name, especially coming so casually from Tang San. That's impossible. You're a titled Douluo. Zhao Zhao's just a soul sect. You're way too strong for her to kill you. Besides, if she could have killed you, you were already passed out when I got to you. If she wanted you dead, you'd be dead. Tang San couldn't explain why he was taking Chu Zhao's side, but the words just tumbled out. He figured Chu Zhao hadn't been the one to start things. No matter what, Chu Zhao wouldn't pick a fight with a titled Douluo. Tang Hao, on the other hand, with his titled Douluo level strength, had repeatedly killed her friends and even went after a soul sect. He was definitely in the wrong. Don't remind me I'm a titled Douluo. Tang Hao was already feeling low, and being reminded of his title only made it worse. She's not just some little soul master. She hit me with her 5th soul skill. The girl's got skills. I've never seen a soul master of 14 do that before. Tang Hao's voice was dripping with sarcasm. The stronger Chu Zhao got, the more Tang Hao wanted her gone. If she wasn't stopped, she'd go back to her sect, turn it around, and come after the top 3 sections. And the Haotian sect would be first on the list. Soul King. She's that good? It feels like she's pulling away from me. Tang San sighed again. Instead of comforting Tang San, Tang Hao pushed him harder. It doesn't matter. Take her out and you'll still be the most talented young guy around. You two are destined to fight to the death. Next time you see her, you know what to do. Tang San was floored. He couldn't believe his father was saying this. I don't want to. I can't. You have to, whether you want to or not, unless you want to sit back and watch her get strong enough to kill me. Tang Hao's tone was cold. No, she won't kill you. Tang San couldn't process everything. He didn't want to believe his father was like this. Dad, please. Just tell me why you're so set on killing her. Tang San needed an explanation, something to help him make a choice, or at least, something that would make him resent Chu Zhao. It's her background. If I'd known this would happen, I wouldn't have shown mercy and would have killed her 11 years ago. Tang Hao's voice was like ice. His mind went back to that rainy night so long ago. He'd lied to everyone, including himself. The people who died outside Holy Soul Village weren't all chasing Chu Zhao, most of them were protecting her. Because of them, Chu Zhao could have had a good life, but Tang Hao had heard the commotion and rushed over. He hadn't meant to get involved, but he recognized who those people were, and they recognized him, so he did what he had to do, kill them. Silence them. When he got to Chu Zhao, he thought she was already dead. Then old Jack showed up, so he pretended to have just arrived and backed off, except when old Jack pulled Chu Zhao out of the pile, she started breathing again. Barely, but she was alive. That night, he'd considered finishing the job, silencing them both, but then young Chu Zhao opened her eyes, looking lost. Seeing Chu Zhao, who was about the same age as Tang San, he felt a pang of pity and decided to let her go. She was badly hurt and wouldn't last long anyway. Even if she somehow survived, without her memories or the ability to awaken her martial spirit, she wouldn't amount to much. But things didn't go as Tang Hao planned. Chu Zhao's sect is the sworn enemy of the Haotian sect. They hate each other. They're not a threat now, but one talented junior could change everything. Tang Hao told Tang San most of the truth. But we've been kicked out of the Haotian sect. We're not disciples anymore. Chapter 83, Fighting the Blazing Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tang San immediately voiced his concerns. He wasn't fond of the Clear Sky sect and didn't know the details of what happened back then. As far as he was concerned, the sect had abandoned them, and they shouldn't have to carry its burdens. Why do you say that? We inherited the Clear Sky hammer, making us members of the Clear Sky sect. Their fate is our fate, unless we disown our own heritage. Tang Hao scolded, emphasizing, no matter where we are or what the sect has done, we're still Clear Sky sect. One day, we'll return with our heads held high. Tang Hao looked at Tang San, thinking, you're my answer to the sect. You're better than me. You'll surprise them and bring me back into the fold. After realizing Tang San was born with maxed out soul power and twin spirits, Tang Hao decided to train him to take over his responsibilities, his hatred for Spirit Hall, his longing to return to the Clear Sky sect, and even the hope of resurrecting his wife, Ain. Tang Hao refused to believe she was gone for good. The blue-silver grass from her sacrifice held a faint will. There had to be a way to bring her back. Do I have to go back? Tang San murmured. He hadn't grown up there, hadn't benefited from their resources, and felt no connection to the place. You have to, Tang Hao insisted. Returning to the Clear Sky sect had been his lifelong dream, but he couldn't achieve it himself. But that didn't matter, he had a son who could. Next up, Blazing Academy vs Cloud Academy. In their 9th match, Cloud Academy faced Blazing Academy, one of the 4 elemental academies. It wouldn't be easy. Blazing Academy students were ruthless, especially Huo Wu. For his team's safety, Chu Zhao entered the arena himself. The match took place in a larger arena. Yu Xiaojiang from Shrek Academy was surprised by Cloud Academy's lineup. No control or support spirit masters. Just a bunch of strong attackers and a plant spirit master. That's a crazy strategy. Do they even have a coach? Chu Zhao left behind the Shu siblings, who specialized in support and control, and instead brought out a team of powerful, agile fighters. Yu Xiaojiang, unfamiliar with Cloud Academy, considered her strategy absurd, but it was actually the perfect combination to counter Blazing Academy. The Shu siblings' wordless book spirit hadn't completed fire immunity training and were vulnerable to flames. Jin Qianqian, however, had. Furthermore, her seed of life spirit seemed to create a special magnetic field around her, enhancing its effects. The match was practically a foregone conclusion. Chu Zhao could handle multiple opponents single-handedly. She just wanted to train her team, so she held back her full power initially. She didn't even unleash her spirit until her teammates were exhausted. Then, she activated it and unleashed her soul skills. First soul skill, Life Chant. Emerald green leaves danced freely across the arena, unaffected by the raging heat, invulnerable to the flames. Twin spirits. She has twin spirits. 3 twin spirit users at the same time. Unbelievable. Whispers of astonishment spread as everyone watched Chu Zhao intently. From the VIP seats to the audience, everyone could see that Chu Zhao had switched to a completely different spirit. They couldn't even discern its form or guess its abilities. The leaves seemed harmless, the emerald leaves multiplied rapidly, overshadowing the red flames and dominating the arena. Some entwined with Cloud Academy members, others with Blazing Academy, seemingly indiscriminate. But the fact that Blazing Academy attacked the leaves showed they were a significant threat. These leaves are draining Blazing Academy's stamina and spirit power while replenishing Cloud Academy's. How is that possible? Is her second spirit a support type? Emperor Shui inquired from the VIP seats, seeing some clues but not the whole picture. It doesn't feel like support. It's more like control, Ning Fengji said, observing Chu Zhao's skills. Definitely control. Those leaves are shackles, trapping Blazing Academy, added the Platinum Bishop of Spirit Hall, his eyes gleaming. A genius like that, a peerless twin spirit genius, must join Spirit Hall. He was determined to recruit Chu Zhao at any cost. Qian Renxue, also in the VIP seats, glared at the bishop, annoyed. Who was he to compete with her for talent? She tapped the armrest twice, and her bodyguard in the shadows understood. On the stage, Blazing Academy finally broke free from the Song of Life, but their overall strength had been weakened by over 10% in just a few seconds. I didn't expect you to have twin spirits, Huo Wushuang said, surprised by Chu Zhao's hidden abilities. Twin spirits were rare and powerful. What was that soul skill? Why was it so? Huo Wu began, her fiery temper rising, but she cut herself off. She then unleashed a third soul skill at Chu Zhao. The fire resistance ring had no offensive power, but it could instantly repel an opponent, potentially knocking them off the stage in a surprise attack. However, Huo Wu didn't intend to use it to eliminate Chu Zhao, she just wanted to vent her frustration. Chapter 84 Why does she always steal your limelight? You are listening at novelfull.audio. She wanted Chu Zhao to feel as trapped as she had felt earlier, but Chu Zhao was about to shock her, and the entire arena. Once again, suddenly, massive black wings burst from her back, lifting her effortlessly above the ring. Their emergence whipped up a fierce gust of wind across the arena. An external soul bone. Unbelievable, she has one already at such a young age. Those are the rarest of all. She must have had some incredible luck. Emperor Shui exclaimed, increasingly impressed with Chu Zhao. He wasted no time in addressing Qian Renxue, who was also in attendance. My prince, your choice is excellent. I've decided to grant you a marriage. After the Continental Advanced Spirit Master Academy Elite Tournament concludes, we will hold the wedding. Are you kidding me? A talented young spirit master like that is one in a million. The Heaven Do Empire has a perfect opportunity to win her over, and I'm going to seize it. Background doesn't mean anything when compared to soul power. What? Qian Renxue, caught completely off guard, was stunned by the announcement. The thought of marrying Chu Zhao, she didn't even dare to entertain it. She quickly tried to decline, saying, "An engagement is fine, but isn't marriage a bit premature? Ah, Chu is still so young." "She may be young, but you're not, my prince. You're in your 20s, it's time you settled down. At your age, I already had a crown princess." Wherever you go, parents seem to have a knack for urging their children to get married. For a spirit master, being in your 20s isn't actually that old, but parents are still very anxious, and I don't know what they are anxious about. I'm not in any rush. I can wait a few more years for her. Wait for what? What if someone snatches you up? You'd be heartbroken. Enough arguing. It's settled. Emperor Shui made the decision then and there, brooking no argument. Chu Zhao, busy competing in the ring, had no idea that not only was her engagement finalized, but her wedding date was practically set too. She channeled her second soul skill from mid-air, bringing the full weight of her attack down on the blazing academy. Wow, she looks even madder than Chi Hua. Did someone tick her off? Douluo Bo watched Chu Zhao on the stage, sighed, and asked Jean Douluo next to him. How should I know? Maybe her attempt to kill Haotian Douluo failed, and the 8 treasures Glazed Tile School and Shrek Academy ruined her plans. Plus, she has to worry about Tang Hao hunting her down. She's probably just in a bad mood. Jean Douluo told Douluo Bo everything he knew, and Douluo Bo was so scared that he almost jumped up. Tang Hao is hunting her. She wants to kill Tang Hao, too. This girl is really powerful. Is she really so courageous? Douluo Bo was shocked and terrified, but also felt a surge of joy and pride. He really did choose a potential stalk. He is so amazing that at such a young age he dares to challenge a madman like Tang Hao. At the same time, Douluo Bo was also thinking about how to save Chu Zhao from Tang Hao, or we could capture the other party's precious son, Tang San, and take him hostage. Tang San, who was being targeted by Douluo Bo, was not in a good mood at the moment. He had already learned from Chu Zhao and Tang Hao that he and Chu Zhao would only be enemies in the future. Shi Yang was still chattering beside him. Third brother, Chu Zhao is seriously out of line. Why does she always have to steal your thunder? Your 4th spirit ring is a 10,000-year ring, which is so rare that you're the first one in history. But before your 10,000-year spirit ring appeared, Chu Zhao's people showed their 10,000-year spirit ring first. It wasn't enough that she stole your thunder once, but she used her twin martial spirits and external spirit bones before you, and stole your thunder twice. This is really too much. Shi Yang kept talking bad about Chu Zhao and defending Tang San in Shrek Academy. She stole your thunder. Your stuff is not enough, she also stole the thunder from our Shrek Academy. The first game should have been the opening show of our Shrek Academy. Our Shrek Academy should have been the biggest dark horse in this game, but, the first person who couldn't stand Shi Yang was Xiao Wu. She bent her waist and threw Shi Yang to the ground. If you don't speak, no one will think you're dumb. You may not be good at other things, but you are good at throwing dirty water. Xiao Wu, what are you doing? How can you attack your own partner? Besides, Shi Yang will play in a while. If you injure him now, who will play? Dai Mubai immediately and carefully helped Shi Yang up from the ground and reprimanded Xiao Wu. It's because he's going to play in the game that I've been putting up with him for so long. Otherwise, when he starts talking, I'll beat him up so hard that he won't even be able to get up. Thanks for reminding me. I've figured it out. Can I play? Do I have to rely on him to play alone? And even though she had already thrown Shi Yang to the ground, Xiao Wu was still not calmed down. Her hand touched the jewel sachet hanging around her neck, and she felt a little more at ease when she smelled the subtle fragrance emanating from it. Thanks to this sachet, she can participate in the competition openly without worrying about her identity being discovered by anyone. As for what Shi Yang said, that her acacia heartbreak red was snatched away by moonlight red, and he was worried that her identity would be discovered by others, she didn't believe a word of it. This lovesick red flower is not growing on her head, so how can it become hers? In fact, Xiao Wu had long wanted to kill Shi Yang, because Shi Yang might have discovered her identity. However, there was something really strange about Shi Yang, and she couldn't kill him at all. At most, she could just beat him up a few times. Blazing Academy was defeated miserably, because many people, including themselves, realized that Chu Zhao was using them to practice against the other 6. Moreover, Blazing Academy, which was defeated by Cloud Academy, also successfully became the first academy among the 4 element academies to interrupt its winning streak. However, on the second day of the match, Blazing Academy lost to Shrek Academy again. Huo Wu from Blazing Academy completely hated Shrek Academy. Shrek Academy once again took on all the responsibilities, and Shi Yang was once again furious. Did you hear what I just said? We might have to hold a fake wedding for everyone to see. Qian Renxue found Chu Zhao openly and talked about the fake marriage. I heard. Then why are you so nonchalant? This isn't like your usual style. Qian Renxue asked, somewhat worried about Chu Zhao's unusual behavior over the past few days. Ah Chu, has something happened? Please don't hide it from me, okay? Chapter 85 I want to be the center of attention. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even Dugu Bo noticed something was off with Chu Zhao, so Qian Renxue definitely couldn't miss it, but Chu Zhao wasn't one for prying questions, so Qian Renxue hesitated before asking. It's nothing much. I just want to soak up the attention, you know. Our wedding should draw quite a crowd. Chu Zhao deflected the question and turned it back on Qian Renxue. Of course. The Crown Prince's wedding is the event of the season. Every one of the major sects is sending someone, except for the Haotian sect. The Xingluo royal family and the Spirit Hall will have envoys there too. And all the major cities in the kingdoms and principalities of the empire will be sending representatives to Tiando Imperial City. Sometimes, a royal crown prince's marriage ceremony is even grander than his actual enthronement, because marrying a crown princess solidifies the crown prince's position, like a second confirmation of his right to the throne. Looking at all this, I haven't lost anything. I'm actually looking forward to it, Chu Zhao said with a genuine smile. Seeing her smile, Qian Renxue felt a little relieved. She looked into what had been happening in Tiando City, and after some digging, discovered what had happened with Chu Zhao. Tang Hao. Qian Renxue glared in the direction of Shrek Academy, her eyes filled with hatred. You hurt her. Then don't blame me for going after your kid. In the 11th qualifying match, Shrek Academy defeated Sanhui Academy. After the match, a key player from Sanhui Academy died from injuries sustained during the match. When Shrek Academy was almost disqualified for the blatant foul play, Tang Hao showed up and silenced the protests with his sheer power. Might makes right, and Shrek Academy was allowed to continue in the competition, but that night, Shrek Academy was attacked, and their star player, Tang San, was badly injured and had to drop out of the competition. What's more, no one from Shrek Academy even showed up to watch the games the next day, but on that same day, Yunduan Academy was facing Tianshui College. Against Tianshui College, Chu Zhao showed up, bringing a storm of her own. The students of Tianshui College all had water-type martial spirits, with the ability to control ice. As the sea of blood rose, Shui Binger from Tianshui College prepared to use her ice powers to freeze it solid. But the moment the two forces collided, it was like adding fuel to the fire. The sea of blood spread even faster than before, with the icy power only intensifying the heat for the Tianshui team members trapped within it. Chu Zhao hadn't wanted to use a skill like this, one that was basically crowd control and could overwhelm soul masters weaker than her. It felt like bullying, but after what Tang Hao had done, Chu Zhao changed her game plan. She wasn't going to play nice anymore. She was going to demand attention. To quickly break through her third soul skill, Tianshui College used their martial soul fusion skill, summoning a massive ice phoenix, and this was exactly what Chu Zhao had been waiting for. The sea of blood was shattered, and she instantly switched to the seed of life martial spirit. Fourth soul skill, beauty of life. Fiery red leaves swirled around her, growing rapidly and flying outward like a giant, fiery bird made of leaves. When it collided with the ice phoenix, the leaves scattered. Her fourth soul skill can't be broken that easily, can it? Hard to say. That's a rare martial soul fusion technique. In the VIP seats, Emperor Shui and Ning Fengji commented one after the other. They had barely finished speaking and were waiting to see Chu Zhao's response when the answer appeared before their eyes. The scattered fiery red leaves reformed. A gigantic fire phoenix emerged from them, wreathed in flames, and lunged at the ice phoenix. This was the true power of Chu Zhao's fourth soul skill. Nothing can be built without destruction. The beauty of life is the phoenix nirvana, rebirth from death. Ice and fire, two opposing forces, collided, and naturally, the stronger prevailed. The snow on the arena vanished, and it became the fire phoenix's domain. The phoenix nirvana, which only lasted for less than 3 seconds, dissolved Shui Binger and Shui Wu's martial soul fusion technique and turned the entire arena sweltering hot. The martial soul fusion technique had already drained much of Shui Wu and Shui Binger's soul power. With the skill broken, Shrek Academy's defeat was inevitable, but they didn't give up. They fought until the end, pushing their spirits and bodies to the limit, and losing with honor. This game would be unforgettable, even as it ended and a new one began. The clash between the Ice Phoenix and the Fire Phoenix was a visual spectacle. I'm becoming more and more curious about what her second martial spirit is, Ning Fengji said softly, watching Yunduan Academy leave, or, more specifically, watching Chu Zhao's retreating figure. He couldn't recall any similar martial soul or soul skills from his memory. Prince, do you know what her second martial spirit is? Ning Fengji, eager for answers, asked Qian Renshue directly. I didn't ask. It's not important to me, Qian Renshue replied with a gentle smile, giving an answer that wasn't really an answer. Her genuine lack of knowledge was clear. She'd been surprised too when she first saw Chu Zhao use her second martial soul, but she never pressed her for details. The Tiando Empire and the Spirit Hall were worried and wanted to use her as a way to understand Chu Zhao's spirit and soul skills. Then have you asked her why she's adding spirit rings to her second martial soul so quickly? Other twin martial soul users don't rush to add rings to their second spirit like she is, Ning Fengji pressed, revealing what he couldn't understand even more. Why didn't Chu Zhao follow the norm and add spirit rings to her main martial soul first, then work on the second spirit later or after reaching the 9th ring? Wouldn't it be better to have a second martial soul with nothing but 1,000-year-old soul rings? I didn't ask that either, Qian Renshue said, shaking her head. A Chu must have her reasons. There's no need to question her. Though she said that, Qian Renshue was still concerned. She, too, worried that Chu Zhao was wasting the advantage of her twin martial spirits, and she had another, bigger worry. How to make twin martial souls compatible. She remembered reading in ancient texts, back when she was in the Spirit Hall, about how the first spirit master with twin spirits died in a catastrophic accident while adding a spirit ring to his second spirit, his body exploding. The problem was that the two martial souls didn't mesh well together. Chapter 86, The Last Match Against Shrek Academy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chu Zhao, could something like that happen to her too? Qian Renshue worried, remembering Bibi Dong, the only titled Douluo with twin martial souls. How did she deal with the issues between her twin martial souls? Would she even share that kind of personal experience? Qian Renshue resolved to learn from Bibi Dong. She hoped Chu Zhao would be safe and by her side to fulfill all her ambitions. Qinghe, you're my student, and the woman you love is also my student. If she's in trouble, she can ask us for help. And of course, we'll be there for you too if you need anything, Ning Fengji said, his intention to win Qian Renshue over clear as day. He even used the prince's given name, Qinghe, to show his closeness. Then I'll thank you on Chu's behalf, Qian Renshue replied, accepting the offer. Chu Zhao was in danger. Tang Hao, like a phantom, struck and vanished, his strength overwhelming. He was a real problem. Thanks to Chu Zhao's incredible performance in the competition, Ning Fengji wasn't the only one extending an offer. Every influential group reached out. Even when Chu Zhao turned them down, they weren't angry. They framed it as simply wanting to be friends and allies, because people constantly flocked to Chu Zhao to chat before and after her matches. Tang Hao, lying in wait, couldn't find an opening. He was willing to kill Chu Zhao, but not if it meant revealing his involvement and angering too many powerful groups. Offending Spirit Hall was one thing, making enemies of everyone was suicide. What about Tang San? What about the Haotian sect? In the 15th preliminary match, Cloud Academy faced Thunder Academy. The surprises kept coming. Mid-match, Chu Zhao used the Thunder Wing skill from her external soul bone to clash with Thunder Academy's Yu Qianxin and his Thunder Wanjun. Thunder met Thunder, head-on. The resulting Thunder Hurricane swept away everything, offering a harsh lesson. One soul skill and she crushes a whole team of soul masters. That's not fair. How are we supposed to beat that? God, please don't let us face that monster. Nah, if we draw them, we forfeit. Better to save our strength for the next one. Because of Chu Zhao's power, many academies dreaded facing them. Some even forfeited matches against them, but those in the VIP seat saw Chu Zhao's value more clearly than ever, convinced that befriending her was the smartest move. The better Chu Zhao performed, the more attention she attracted, and the more hesitant Tang Hao became to act. In the 21st preliminary match, Cloud Academy faced Kamikaze Academy. This was the last and strongest of the 4 element academies. Unexpectedly, Feng Xiaotian forfeited when Chu Zhao prepared to compete. What's going on? That's not like Feng Xiaotian. He's been acting like he's all that since the start of the competition. Why would he give up? Chu Zhao had just come from training and was getting ready for the competition, but was completely bewildered by this news. Feng Xiaotian's injured. He knows he'd have a chance if he was healthy, but without him, they'll be crushed in a minute. He's afraid of a humiliating loss, Wu Yun explained, guessing what Chu Zhao was about to ask. She then continued about why Feng Xiaotian was injured. For some reason, Huo Wu from Blazing Academy went to Shrek Academy to stir up trouble with Tang San. No one knows exactly what was said, but Tang San got furious and tried to kill her. The Shrek team stood together, many of them helping Tang San deal with Huo Wu. Feng Xiaotian, who had been following her, couldn't stay hidden any longer. Even with Feng Xiaotian's help, they were no match for the whole group. They were both seriously injured. Feng Xiaotian will recover in about a day, but Huo Wu's in worse shape. She'll be out for at least a few matches. Wu Yun quickly recounted everything that had happened. With Huo Wu, the deputy captain and a key player, injured, Blazing Academy was out for blood. They also started problems with Shrek Academy, but Shrek shut them down, saying the same thing over and over. They came to Shrek Academy and started it. We were defending ourselves. Anything we did was justified. Not only that, they also used Tang San's previous attack as an excuse, saying that because of that incident, everyone was more worried about Tang San and afraid something might happen to him. They even accused Blazing Academy of sending the attackers. After Wu Yun finished, Chu Zhao was silent for a moment. In the end, she simply sighed that Blazing Academy was unlucky and Shrek Academy was arrogant. They've completely alienated Kamikaze Academy and Blazing Fire Academy now. They're gonna have a rough time in the promotion matches and the finals. That's all Chu Zhao said. With no competition that day, Chu Zhao relaxed and continued her training at the hotel while sending everyone else to watch the other matches. Know yourself and your enemy, and you will never be defeated in 100 battles, she said. Really, she was worried they'd train as hard as she did and burn themselves out. Her training, which often required over 20 hours a day, was beyond what ordinary people could handle. For a long time, Cloud Academy didn't encounter any strong opponents and never faced Shrek Academy. Finally, in the 29th and last game, they drew Shrek Academy. Cloud Academy had won 28 games straight, and a win over Shrek Academy would give them a perfect record. While Shrek Academy was a dark horse in the competition, they weren't as dazzling as Cloud Academy. Nobody except for Shrek Academy believed Shrek Academy would win. Chapter 87 Chaos Cloak Hammering Technique. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even facing the undefeated Cloud Academy, Shrek Academy was convinced they'd win. Where that confidence came from was anyone's guess, but hey, confidence is good, right? You gotta try to know if you can win. Maybe they'd get lucky, maybe a miracle would happen. Shrek Academy sent out their full Shrek 7 Devils lineup. It was the first time all competition they'd put their main team on the field at once. Chu Zhao was a little surprised. Dai Mubai, captain of the Shrek team, level 43, power attack type spirit master. Standing on the field, Dai Mubai suddenly introduced himself. Usually, you don't need to announce your spirit power in competition, but there's an unspoken rule that if one side gives their power level, the other side does too, as a show of respect, but Chu Zhao wasn't feeling respectful. He glanced at Xiao Qinyu, signaling to him. Xiao Qinyu got the message immediately. From now on, you're the captain of Cloud Academy, and I'm the vice-captain. Xiao Qinyu pointed at himself. Chu Zhao nodded. Xiao Qinyu had no choice but to step up. Xiao Qinyu, captain of the Cloud team, level 41 agility attack spirit master. Xiao Qinyu and Dai Mubai were the oldest players on their respective teams. It was fitting they were both captains. Dai Mubai caught the other team's eye contact and sensed their contempt. He vowed to teach Chu Zhao and the others a lesson. The referee signaled the match had begun, and both sides unleashed their martial spirits. The arena lit up with the colorful glow of various spirits. Attack! Xiao Qinyu, now in charge, immediately ordered the main attackers to charge. The first word in the wordless book is break. The second word is defense. Shu Han, at the rear, put up a protective shield for the attacking force. She trusted her teammates, and the dark clouds beside her, to keep her safe. The first word in the wordless book is kill. Shu Che, holding a similar book, used an offensive spirit skill. The word kill transformed into 6 razor-sharp black spikes and shot toward Shi Yang. How can this be? Their martial spirits are the same, so why are their spirit skills so different? Yu Xiaojiang, watching from the sidelines, was stunned to see 2 identical spirits being used with completely different skills. The spirits were practically twins, except one was white and the other black, clearly the result of absorbing spirit rings. They have the same martial soul, so they should be of the same type. If not exactly the same, their soul skills should be very similar. How can there be such a big difference? Yu Xiaojiang was baffled, and a little worried. Cloud Academy seemed to be disproving many of his most cherished theories. Shrek Academy still trusted him, but others were starting to doubt his theories and grumble about them. That was the last thing Yu Xiaojiang wanted. Back on stage, even before Chu Zhao used any of her spirit skills, Cloud Academy had the upper hand. Tang San realized his blue-silver grass wasn't as effective as usual. When he was restricted, Tang San switched spirits. It's the Clear Sky Hammer. So, that's the legendary Clear Sky Hammer. But if he has twin spirits, why doesn't his second spirit have any spirit rings? Many people stared at Tang San's weapon with surprise and excitement, but some of the less knowledgeable fans had a basic question. They might not know much about spirits, but the more spirit rings you had, the stronger you were. That seemed like common sense. You're clueless. Don't you know how powerful the Clear Sky Hammer is? It's the most powerful weapon spirit on the continent, the best there is. Even without rings, it packs a punch. But, no spirit rings? Against the Clear Sky Hammer, rings don't matter. In the audience, some spirit masters fiercely defended the Haotian sect. These people had grown up hearing tales of Tang Hao's exploits. They idolized him, so his son could do no wrong. I don't buy it. Spirit rings are always better. Hey. Chill out, guys. Just watch the fight. The results will speak for themselves. Just as they were about to start arguing, someone stepped in to play peacemaker, the real reason being, their squabble was ruining the game. In the ring, Tang San gripped the pitch-black Clear Sky Hammer, its weight mirroring the heaviness in his heart. Use the Chaos Cloak Hammer technique I taught you to fight Chu Zhao. Tang Hao's voice transmission boomed in Tang San's ears, adding to his confusion. He didn't want to, but he couldn't disobey Tang Hao, nor could he stand by and watch his academy get crushed. Finally, he pointed the Clear Sky Hammer at Chu Zhao. The moment he made the decision, Tang San's aura changed. His hesitation vanished, replaced by an unstoppable force. It's the Chaos Cloak Hammer technique. He's so young to be using it this well. There's always someone in the crowd who knows what's up. Someone recognized Tang San's technique and shouted it out for everyone to hear. The Chaos Cloak Hammer technique is a secret of the Haotian sect. It's a self-made spirit skill that works with the Haotian hammer, and can be adapted for any hammer-type spirit. Chu Zhao had figured Tang San would use it when he switched to the clear sky hammer. After all, with no spirit rings, it was about all he had. The Chaos Cloak hammer technique consists of 99 strikes, each one stronger than the last. When attacking, it focuses power at one point, increasing with each strike. After 99 strikes, the accumulated power is unleashed in one devastating blow. It takes time to build that power. Tang San, using his Tang Sex Ghost Shadow Mirage, made it harder to interrupt the process, but Chu Zhao had no intention of interrupting him. She knew Tang Hao was watching from the shadows. Chapter 88, Victory, Rewards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Therefore, she had to go all out to overcome the Chaos Cloak hammer technique and push Tang Hao a little. It was a bit of mischief on her part. To be safe, she also unleashed her Death Sword technique, intending to show everyone the true meaning of death. She's insane. Why is she letting Tang San complete the Chaos Cloak hammer technique? Its power will be overwhelming once it's unleashed. What's she doing just standing there? Wait, is she using her own soul skill too? But what kind of original soul skill can compare to the Chaos Cloak hammer technique, refined over generations of the Clear Sky School? Is she too confident? She's just arrogant and never faced setbacks. She's about to learn a tough lesson. Some in the audience analyzed the situation, concerned for Chu Zhao. Their worries were misplaced. They should be worrying about themselves instead. As Tang San released 9,981 hammer strikes, Chu Zhao swung her Death Sword technique. The massive scythe phantom collided with the clear sky hammer, empowered by multiple layers of force. Sparks flew in a powerful, tangible clash, unleashing a chilling aura of death. Everyone in the arena and the audience felt a wave of cold, as if their lives were ending. They became frigid, experiencing hypothermia. Chu Zhao hadn't intended this. Regardless of the protective barrier, once her death scythe was activated, the death energy flowed uncontrollably. All she could do was prevent it from actually harming innocent bystanders. In the end, the death scythe, enhanced by soul power and divine authority, overwhelmed the Chaos Cloak hammer technique. The massive scythe hurtled toward the 7 Shrek Academy members, poised to end their lives. "We surrender." Yu Xiaojiang, realizing their imminent defeat, decisively shouted surrender to avoid death or serious injury. After all, they had already won enough to secure a top 5 position. Yu Xiaojiang's surrender triggered immediate action. Flanders and Lu Erlong openly moved from the spectator seats, while the 2 Douluo from Cloud Academy rushed towards the arena. They had sensed a hidden figure taking action. Tang Hao's clear sky hammer was forcibly halted midway by the 2 Douluo, Jin Du, who coughed up blood but stood firm. "Clear Sky Douluo, what are you doing? Meddling in a youth competition?" Jin Douluo's cold question drew disapproving eyes to Tang Hao. Tang Hao justified his actions. "I was just worried she wouldn't stop in time and would kill the Shrek team." "Weren't you the one who wasn't stopping? It took both of us," titled Douluo, "to barely block your attack. She would have been crushed by you, right?" Jin Douluo fearlessly confronted Tang Hao. They protected Chu Zhao, calculating the possibility of her killing Tang Hao. However, Ning Fengji intervened as a peacemaker. Clear Sky Douluo was simply anxious for his son's safety and misjudged the situation. "He didn't mean any harm. Chu Zhao is my disciple's fiancé and a member of the 8 Treasure Glazed Tile School. We're all family, so Clear Sky Douluo wouldn't intentionally hurt her." Ning Fengji's words, while conciliatory, subtly sided with Chu Zhao. His status as leader of the 3 sects supported her. If Tang Hao attacked Chu Zhao again, it would be intentional and damage the relationship between the sections. The reputation of Tang Hao, Tang San, and the entire Clear Sky School would suffer, potentially leading to widespread animosity like Tang Hao once faced. Tang Hao, cornered by Ning Fengji, had no choice but to accept it. The Heaven Do District qualifiers of the Continental Advanced Soul Master Elite competition officially ended. Cloud Peak Academy won all its matches, taking first place. Star Luo Academy and Thunder Academy, with 2 losses each, ranked 2nd and 3rd. Shrek Academy was 4th, and Tianshui Academy 5th. However, Blaze Academy, one of the four-element academies, lost several matches due to the injury of its key player Huo Wu, failing to reach the top 5 and missing the finals. As Blaze Academy departed, they glared at Shrek Academy with hatred and resentment. This was their first time being eliminated in the qualifiers. The 10 captains and vice-captains of the top 5 academies will be granted the title of Viscount, and the other participating students will be granted the title of Baron. After the competition, the Empire will grant you fiefs. Emperor Shui rewarded the top 5 teams, promising the land Chu Zhao coveted. Chu Zhao glanced at Qianrenxue, then subtly nodded, understanding that Qianrenxue would arrange for their fiefs to be located in the area Chu Zhao desired. This ennoblement was clearly a tactic to win people over. The Platinum Bishop of the Spirit Hall was furious, having been outmaneuvered in his attempts to recruit young talents. Emperor Shui's rewards didn't stop there, continuing to announce generous and shocking incentives. Xiao Qinyu and the others were deeply grateful to Chu Zhao, realizing their decision to follow her was wise. Xiao Qinyu, son of the Lord of Nodding City, surpassed his ancestors' barony and became a viscount, with a larger and inheritable territory than Nottingham City. But this was just the beginning. After discussing the post-match arrangements, Emperor Shui changed the subject. Since you're all here, I have a happy announcement. I'd like you all to be witnesses. Emperor Shui clapped his hands, and armored knights entered, each carrying a tray covered in red cloth. My son, Crown Prince Shui Qinghe, has found his beloved. Today, I will grant them a marriage, and these are the betrothal gifts. He lifted the red cloth, revealing the contents. A gasp swept through the audience. Chapter 89, The Vast Sea and Universe Cover as a Gift, Who Can Break the Defense? You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the tray sat a blue object. It was an oddly shaped, crystal clear, palm-sized, three-dimensional triangle. One glance was enough to tell anyone this thing was special. Ripple patterns shimmered across its surface, emitting a soft glow that calmed the heart. Is that the Vast Sea Universe cover? Su Dao exclaimed, but Prince Xuexing was even more agitated. Disapproval filled his face and voice. Your Majesty, that's a national treasure. You can't just give it away as a betrothal gift. Gold, silver, and jewelry would be one thing, or even a soul bone if you're feeling generous. Prince Xuexing was beside himself. He'd always disliked Shui Qinghe and suspected him of having ulterior motives, so he'd placed his bets on Prince Xuebang, but His Majesty wouldn't listen, favoring the prince all the more. The more he disliked the prince, the more Emperor Shui seemed determined to protect him. Now even the Vast Sea Universe cover, a national treasure, was being given away. I have only one crown prince, and that crown prince will have only one crown princess. What if I give away the national treasure? The crown princess will still be a member of our Tiando royal family, so the national treasure stays within the family. Emperor Shui remained firm, insisting on using the Vast Sea Universe cover as a betrothal gift. His generosity stemmed not only from the reasons he stated, but also from his desire to win over Chu Zhao. In this preliminary round, Chu Zhao had proven herself the most exceptional talent. Ning Fengji, with his sharp eye, had even predicted that Chu Zhao would definitely become a titled Douluo in the future. Countless people had already extended offers to Chu Zhao. He had to make a significant gesture, or risk her being lured away by others. He wasn't afraid of giving Chu Zhao valuable things now, he was afraid of not giving enough. He didn't want this future titled Douluo snatched up by someone else, leaving him with nothing but regret. If you truly want to impress Chu Zhao, offer cities, land, soldiers, and a personal guard. The national treasure is simply too much. As Prince Xuexing spoke, his eyes remained glued to the blue object. He'd long coveted it, and now he wanted to grab it and run, but Emperor Shui's next words made him even more defensive. You're right. I should offer some cities and land. I understand that Miss Chu is from Fasno province, so I will grant her that entire province as her fiefdom. Prince Xuexing was speechless. When words fail, laughter often follows. Prince Xuexing was so enraged he wanted to point at the emperor's nose and curse him. I said give her a city and some land, not that much, an entire province. The empire only had 10 provinces in total. He didn't even have a fiefdom that large. Prince Shueshing, speechless with rage, could only look around in bewilderment. When he caught sight of the astonished Chu Zhao, he glared at her fiercely. Chu Zhao was also stunned by Emperor Shueye's extravagant generosity. She'd never witnessed such a grand gesture, giving away a national treasure so casually. Moreover, this was the same item Tang San acquired in the original timeline, and it helped him tremendously. It seemed his eventual ascension to see God was also connected to it. Chu Zhao didn't turn toward Shrek Academy, but she could sense several pairs of eyes fixed on her from that direction. Prince. Yes. Emperor Shueyi called out Prince, and Qian Renxue responded, stepping forward. She took the tray bearing the vast sea universe cover from Emperor Shueyi's hands and approached Chu Zhao. Chu, will you do me the honor of becoming my crown princess? Qian Renxue stood before Chu Zhao, holding the tray with a gentle expression. I would be honored. Chu Zhao accepted the tray from Qian Renxue, thus sealing the alliance between them. In addition to the vast sea universe cover, Emperor Shueyi also presented gold, silver, and jewelry. Each piece was incredibly precious, but they paled in comparison to the national treasure. Holding Qian Renshue's hand, she walked to stand before Emperor Shueyi, bowing slightly in greeting. Good, good, good. Emperor Shueyi happily repeated good 3 times and announced it again. Miss Chu Zhao is now the crown princess of our Qiando Empire. She possesses a national treasure and is to be respected as if she were the country itself. Anyone who dares to oppose her will be considered an enemy of the entire empire. This declaration was meant to support Chu Zhao and also represented a gamble on the empire's future. Among the VIP seats, Ning Fengji remained the calmest. The platinum bishop of the Spirit Hall was far less composed. He desperately wanted to object. He was green with envy over such talent. However, after sending a letter to Spirit City, he received a reply warning him in no uncertain terms against attempting to harm Chu Zhao. Confused and unwilling, he had no choice but to obey the orders of Spirit City. However, the other one, the Platinum Bishop of the Spirit Hall, looked at Tang San and thought to himself. If that one is off limits, does it mean this one is too? Tang San, the Haotian sect's illegitimate son. Tang San, unaware of being targeted, was trying to restrain Shi Yang. The moment Shi Yang saw the vast sea universe cover, he was about to speak, his eyes filled with an astonishing hatred as he looked at Chu Zhao, but this was neither the time nor place for outbursts, and sensing the danger, Tang San quickly stopped Shi Yang from speaking, paying no attention to anything else. It wasn't until they arrived back at Shrek Academy, within the sanctuary of their own territory, that Tang San released his hold on Shi Yang. Third brother. That's the vast sea universe cover. It belongs to you. As soon as he was free, Shi Yang blurted out eagerly. That's a Qiando national treasure. How could it belong to me? You've gone too far this time. It's simply impossible. Tang San couldn't understand why Shi Yang was making such outlandish claims. His last name was Tang, he wasn't part of the Qiando royal family. Why did Shi Yang act as if the royal family's possessions were rightfully his? It truly belongs to you. Emperor Shueyi gifted it to you for your great contributions. You were even named a prince. I'm telling you the truth. Seeing Tang San's disbelief, Shi Yang grew even more frantic. He could only emphasize the object's power, hoping Tang San would take him seriously. The vast sea universe cover is a divine weapon, a golden ticket for you. It has many powerful functions, and it can even help you find the legendary miracle, allowing you to become. As Shi Yang was about to say the word Poseidon, he found himself unable to speak, unable to make a sound. It was as if some unseen force was preventing him from uttering that crucial word. You're becoming more and more ridiculous. You should seek treatment for your illness. Tang San said this, seemingly dismissing Shi Yang's words, but in truth, he felt a flicker of unease, as if he had lost something significant. Chapter 90 #039, Talk Nonsense next time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everything I said is true. I saw it with my own eyes. The more people doubted him, the more agitated Shi Yang became. He was on the verge of tears. Alright, let's just say you did see it. Then tell me this, what did Xiao San do to deserve His Majesty gifting him the vast sea universe cover, a national treasure, and making him a prince? You know there's never been a king from a different family in the empire. Yu Xiaojiang posed the question. He clearly thought Shi Yang was spouting nonsense and didn't believe a word of it. However, even if false, Shi Yang's claims could have serious repercussions and deserved investigation. Because he stopped a rebellion, saved Emperor Shuiye's life, and kept the Tiando Empire from collapsing. Shi Yang shot back the answer. Yu Xiaojiang pressed on, whose rebellion was it, and when did it happen? 5 years from now, the rebellion was launched by. Shi Yang felt that familiar blocked the moment he tried to say the name. He couldn't get the words out, couldn't even make a sound. But he could say other things just fine. Yes, a rebellion started, and the Tiando royal family was nearly wiped out. He tried a different way, but still couldn't voice the name. Astonished, Shi Yang covered his mouth, then looked up at the clear sky, even more bewildered. He couldn't even say the name, but hearing it from someone else triggered him. And he hadn't even made up the culprit yet, so he didn't know who to pin it on. You can't even name the guy. This is just a half-baked dream. You need to separate fantasy from reality, or it won't do you any good. Yu Xiaojiang patted Shi Yang on the shoulder with sincere concern, dismissing the whole thing as a delusion and urging everyone to relax and prepare for the next round, but when he turned around, he saw Tang Hao, his idol, wearing a serious expression. Your Majesty, did you hear what Shi Yang said? How much of it do you think is true? Yes, ever since reuniting with Tang San, Tang Hao had been staying at Shrek Academy, although few knew he was there. Only a handful of people he implicitly trusted knew of his presence. Oh, it's pretty much all true. Tang Hao replied arrogantly, as if he genuinely believed Shi Yang. Actually, it was just an excuse for what he planned to do. No one takes what's his. Tang Hao's voice was dark. He didn't care if the story was true or false, he wanted to take out Chu Zhao regardless, but now there was more to it, grabbing the vast sea universe cover. And he couldn't just go in guns blazing like before, he had to get rid of Chu Zhao without drawing attention. Okay, I understand. Yu Xiaojiang nodded, now firmly on Tang Hao's side. Meanwhile, Dai Mubai tracked down Shi Yang. So, what you said about Tang San's contribution in getting the vast sea universe cover, that's the real deal. But you're blocked from saying who the rebel is, right? Hearing this, Shi Yang, who'd been feeling low, instantly perked up. Yes, exactly. Shi Yang nodded eagerly, overjoyed that someone finally believed him. Dai Mubai was just probing, he wasn't entirely convinced, but true or false, if it could be useful, he was all in. Okay, I'll say some names, one by one. If I get it right, you nod. If not, shake your head. Might as well see what happens. Prince Snowstar. Dai Mubai started with the first suspect. Royal infighting and vassal rebellions were common, but Shi Yang shook his head. Prince Avalanche. Dai Mubai moved to the next name. A prince trying to grab the throne seemed plausible, but Shi Yang shook his head more vigorously, so Dai Mubai kept going, name after name, until he reached Chu Zhao. Is it Chu Zhao? I saw you were fixated on her previously. She was on Dai Mubai's suspect list. Still, he didn't really want to believe that Chu Zhao would be behind the rebellion, they were the same age. And while they were still patting themselves on the back for their talent, she was supposedly plotting a power grab. Shi Yang hesitated, and just when Dai Mubai thought he had his answer, Shi Yang shook his head again. Not her. It's someone she was close to. Even as he thought the words, Shi Yang found himself blocked again, and his mood plummeted. I've run through a bunch of names. The only one I haven't mentioned is Tiando Crown Prince Shuiqinghe. Can't be him, right? His voice dripped with disappointment. Dai Mubai figured he'd guessed wrong. Shi Yang was just a blabbermouth with no real courage, but Shi Yang remained silent. He seemed frozen in place, unable to do anything, unable to speak or react. What's going on? Are you hesitating again? Yes means yes, no means no. What's so hard? Dai Mubai, assuming Shi Yang was dithering like before with Chu Zhao's name, snapped at him to hurry up, but Shi Yang still didn't respond. Dai Mubai pressed him again before he finally reacted. It can't be him. What would he even want? He's already the crown prince, the heir apparent. Emperor Shui dotes on him. He even offered the vast sea universe cover, a national treasure, as a betrothal gift to help him marry Chu Zhao, a golden goose. Who's going to believe you? Why would a crown prince, firmly in line for the throne and beloved by the emperor, throw it all away to rebel? Wouldn't he just wait for Emperor Shui to die and then take over? Why risk everything by rebelling? Shi Yang just stared at Dai Mubai, frozen. Seeing him unable to move, Dai Mubai finally started to freak out. No, why can't you move? You don't want to stay frozen like this. It's not my fault. I didn't mean to do this to you. What do I do? How can I help you? I don't want to. If you don't mention her, I can move. Shi Yang finally managed to speak, but he was terrified. He thought he was stuck like that forever. Relief flooded him when he could move again, but he also felt stung by Dai Mubai's earlier words. You're all better. Your sickness is weird. How'd you freeze up like that? Was it from all the nonsense you were spouting? Don't talk crazy next time. Dai Mubai had already written off Shi Yang's claims as hogwash. He couldn't believe Xue Qinghe, the crown prince, would rebel.